Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast on game 1 in a series between Slider and Tarson. Slider spawning as the blue Protoss player here at the 9 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have Tarson spawning as the yellow Terran player. I do not know why I said it was red. It is in fact yellow. Let me fix that. There you go. Tarson spawning as the yellow Terran player here at the 12 o'clock position here on Terminus Ray. And both players being very friendly with each other, a much more than the standard good luck, have fun, enjoy the game. And it's always nice to see well-mannered players actually enjoying playing StarCraft 2. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes a lot of the professional players, and I do understand this, they play so much StarCraft 2, they put so much heart and dedication and just time and energy on the line that it becomes work for them. And now you got to think to yourself, come on, your work is playing StarCraft 2, how hard could it be? Well, it does get tiring, and you do get emotional when things don't go well. So, yeah, it's nice to see these players enjoying themselves while playing. So far, it looks like nothing is out of the norm so far here on Terminus Ray. Just a pylon setting up, Nexus coming down into Terminus Ray, making sure, yes, this is the GSL version of the map, meaning there are destructible rocks leading into the backdoor low ground expansion that only has 5 mineral patches and a normal Vespene geyser, not a rich one, so you will not actually be able to harvest gas from there any more quickly. Back over here, we are going into a simulator and gateway. Meanwhile, we are going into barracks and refinery. So a really standard play coming in from both players. I'm a little curious as to why Slider has not yet started to scout. And right as I say that, he does do a little bit of a late scouting after Pylon, the second one, not the first. So that is a little bit of a later scout than what I would call a normal scout. And we'll see what happens here. Slider now making his way clockwise. He will find Tarson rather quickly. A Marine should be added. And now we are getting, I believe, another supply depot here. After that supply depot, he should be trying to set up a factory if he's going for a standard build, or is he going to add a tech lab? Yeah, he is actually adding that tech lab. A probe now trying to come up the ramp, and there goes the Marine. The Marine getting some damage onto that probe already. The probe down to 4 hit points, and there it goes. Now, Tarson still trying to figure out what strategy Slider is going for. He doesn't even know his spawning location yet. Slider, on the other hand, only saw a barracks, didn't even see the tech lab being added on, and Slider is giving the nice props of nice to his opponent. And interesting play. We are now stopping harvesting gas from Tarson. So this is a true Reaper expansion, trying to get into more and more minerals as quickly as possible. He should be setting up a barrack or a command center there. And yes, this is a Reaper expansion in full glory, even trying to slow down harvesting any gas, and apparently one of the best casters there have been lost. Anyways, coming back into the game, a Marine currently being trained, no SCVs being transferred, a second racks now being placed down. The Reaper looking and looking. We'll see what he's going to find. He's going to find a Stalker, and that is something a Reaper never wants to go toe-to-toe with. 100 resource unit just absolutely getting destroyed by a Stalker there, and you can see that the Stalker is in position. The Reaper may be able to try to put pressure onto this probe and at least take down this one building probe, but no, is not going to be able to do it. Comes down here, sees that there is no expansion, now coming up along the backside. There is also a sentry there as a gateway now being set up. Back over here, a bunker is being placed down. More Marines are being trained. You can see gas once again being harvested as Tarson. Is he going into mass racks play? Yes, it is mass racks play. So this is going to be a 2 base, most likely a 5 racks, I assume. A 5 racks play. There's going to be that stim pack and combat shield being researched. SCV is now finally being transferred over, and now sentries also being just guarding that choke point there. So the Reaper still cannot go toe-to-toe with that sentry. The sentries do have 80 hit points between on each of them, and they also have 1 level of armor. After you get through those shields, one of the few light units that actually have armor, I believe the other one is a Zealot. So I think a Zealot and a Sentry, probably one of the only two. There's probably more, but then again, they're not used nearly as much, and I'm sure someone will leave me a comment saying how I'm a fool and how I don't know that this XYZ unit does in fact have armor. Anyways, Marauder currently out and about. We do not see Concussive Shell yet, so training Marauders. And I forgot to set my busy All right, anyways, getting back to the game, you can see the two Marauders are out, still no concussive shells, and we are going into a robotics facility, and that may not be the good call. If Immortals are being trained, that's not a good call. If perhaps we go into two-base robotics facility, that will be a very safe call indeed. Oh, as a Reaper hiding over here, the Reaper did get 2 shots, and now the Reaper looking for that last unit there, and now trying to get away. Will be able to get out in time? No, unable to, as the Stalker was even up on that high ground, and the Reapers were able to just corral that one, or sorry, the Sentries were able to corral that one Reaper into that position there. And now a lot of sentries. So this has become a very common strategy for Protoss players, especially against Zerg. But now it appears that it is also very common against Terran players, where they try to get as many sentries as possible, try to use those force fields and get a lot of just splits across the army. However, one of the benefits for Terran is that Terran does have ghosts or ghost in their arsenal. I do not see one ghost yet though, so that is going to be a problem, as all of those sentries, 7 sentries with more likely underway, will be able to prevent any retreats, and then we should perhaps see 1 or 2 Colossus come out and slice through those Marines like a hot knife through butter. Combat shield now being researched as well. We are getting that starport up. We should have a little switcheroo on the tech lab and the reactor there. Nicely done. Double training up medevacs, and we'll see if the drop play will be successful. Slider able to circumnavigate around this one missile turret there. He sees everything he needs to see. He sees double tech labs, and now he should be seeing the concussive shells being researched. Not quite sure why it is not being researched at this stage, as more Marauders are slowly being added in force. And we should perhaps see some buildings along the backside. 1 photon cannon would be enough to try to deter it. A Stalker on the backside as well. 2 Stalkers on the back to try to intercept any of those Marauders and Marines, as a drop will be coming. So this timing on this drop will have to be very careful. Is he going to go straight into a drop? No, he's going to go straight into a push, and this one observer just outside of sight range. Beautifully done by Slider, as now he knows pretty much what is going to happen. Stalker now in full retreat as well, and SCV going out. The SCV does move slightly faster than the rest of the army. Will see the Stalker there, and now also spot, no, not going to spot the Colossus. The Colossus now coming in and now deciding to back out. Tarson has to be very careful, as the Marines and Marauders are just going to shut down this one pylon here, and oh yes, able to stop the warp in on one of the Zealots. Now, what is going to be happening with Tarson? Vikings are being trained. We are getting Ghost out, and I thought that was a Protoss unit for a second. Now, so we are getting Ghost out. Marines now activating the Zelnaga Watchtower here. It looks like one Marine making sure that there are no expansion plays here. But this one observer did take a little bit of damage, but still out doing a lot of scouting as well. Back over here, we do see the Stalkers waiting for a medevac that looks like it will never come into play at all. And now a medevac with 1 Marine now doing a little bit of a push. That medevac is not going to be long for life if it actually just tries to do anything there. It only has 1 unit, and that is it. So a 1 Marine drop? No, I can't expect that coming in from Tarson at all. 1 Marine down over here, quickly getting destroyed. The units are deciding to pull back. There are 2 Ghosts. The Ghosts do not have enough energy for an EMP shockwave yet. One of them will have it just in time, in order to try to deplete all the energy on those sentries. But the sentries have over 200 or 100 energy, so they will be able to get off 2 force fields still. So now a Marine back over here. Where are those Ghosts? The 2 Ghosts are over here. The second Ghost now getting enough. EMP shockwaves need to come into play, and now there you go, double EMP shockwave. The force fields did come in, but not enough. Guardian shields did go up as well. Medevacs now trying to fight off this battle, so Tarson now needs to land, or no, now needs to finish off this last Colossus here. This last Colossus will get easily taken down, and Tarson just properly responding to his opponent and being able to shut down that very large army there. You can see the losses. That was absolutely huge. Those Ghosts coming out at just the right time. Marines and Marauders now making a move for it, and you can see Slider in a bit of a defensive posture. He does not have to worry about Ghost with EMP Shockwave just quite yet, as there is a lot amount of energy still needed on those Ghosts. And now in comes a scanner sweep there. That one That 1-1 Ghost there needs to pull back. Perhaps we'll see an elevator drop onto the high ground, and then to get some damage over here. The Zealots are coming in as well, more warping in. Vikings are just staying around. One Viking, and I believe there's a Ghost in there somewhere. Yeah, a Ghost hiding underneath that group of Vikings, and now finally in retreat. I think that this command center is actually a little bit further away than it should be. That's, like, I think you can actually move it up there. Perhaps that command center was just blindly placed down. One of the things that Terran players can, in fact, do just because their buildings, in fact, lift off army-wise. Terran player is slightly ahead. Tarson now sitting at 4,000 with 1,500, so sitting at 5,500 total compared to a 3,500. But you always have to be careful, especially when your opponent has units that deal a lot of splash damage. Second Colossus now coming out as well. Still Stalkers hiding back over here. And this is one of those instances where players say, you know what, don't go for Photon Cannons, just get Stalkers. The Stalkers were sitting there for so long that might as well gotten the Photon Cannon and let those Stalkers engage. And now Vikings out trying to come in. EMP Shockwave down. Beautifully done by Tarson. The Vikings are going after the Colossus. The Colossus are now trying to finally back off. The Vikings are now finally pulling away. The Stalkers going after the Vikings as the Marauders and Marines are continuing to push. I believe there are going to be enough Marauders and Marines to finish this off. That one poor Colossus going to get off one more shot. And now the Vikings are in ground mode, finishing off more and more units. The Marauders trying to use that kiting ability. Not enough Marines in this battle, but it looks like the Marauders are going to be able to deal a lot more, and now continuing the push, going after some of those production buildings as well. Stalkers are now up on that high ground. No units are reinforcement. No, it's going to be a drop from the backside, and a drop into the backside there as the Marauders and the Marines are trying to pull away the rest of the Stalkers, and it looks like it's going to work as the Stalkers are now over here trying to engage, and now in comes the drop. And Marauders and Marines dropping into the main mineral line over here as the Marauders now finishing off some of the production buildings over here. The Stalkers are trying to engage, but two medevacs doing a really, really strong job of just cleaning up the rest of Slider's Zealots. And Slider is in trouble, just trying to be everywhere at once. Whenever you have army units inside your base being unchallenged, that is always, always deadly. Tarson forgot to rally the other two medevacs, and that would have been a complete change in tactics there, as two additional medevacs would have been able to keep those units just healthy. Oh, the one medevac, a full medevac getting shot down. A second medevac trying to fly away. The Stalkers do have blink and finish it off. Slider now down to one base play. The probes perhaps going to try to do a suicide mission. No, doing some long distance mining instead. No, it is actually going to be a suicide run. So coming with everything, including the kitchen sink and probes to try to fight off here. We have a large number of medevacs, but I don't see that many Vikings. One Viking out, and that may be an issue as we have one Colossus. Perhaps a second Colossus is currently in production. No, now one observer there, and this is going to be everything on the line. SCVs are going to try to battle it out. SCVs in the front. There are Ghosts as well. The Ghosts need to get off those EMP shockwaves. EMP shockwaves now coming in. There's one. There's two. So much damage being dealt. SCVs are not attacking. Not quite sure why. SCVs are now just trying to run in, and the Marauders and the Marines soaking up or dealing so much damage as the SCVs were able to absorb it. And there's the game by Slider. So Tarson taking game one in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let me pull all of those back up for you guys. Yeah, so Tarson taking game one in the series. Stay tuned for game two.